the car?
I don't know that decide on the gender.
Well, he treats the car better than his wife. That's how he decided. When you watch a person treats his car better than his wife, you know the car is female. If he treats his wife better, then the car is masculine. No, it is neutral. Yes. So the Lord said it, very plainly. People value so high, van is fantastic car, good car, how else you can talk about the car. And heaven, listening there, look at that conversation. Isn't that ridiculous? I paid my blood to redeem them. I gave them so many blessings. The money I gave, he bought a car, now the talk is about the car. Coitum he doesn't take, but he washes and shines his car. Yeah. He has no time for his wife or children, but he definitely will take the car to wherever it needs to go, whatever things to be done. People worship these idols, That's what Jesus said, that which is highly esteemed. Some houses are like that. Boy, they will praise their houses and they will take so much time and pain to show everybody how great their house is, how well it is planned and look this and that and all, Heaven say, what a waste. Only cement and bricks. I'm going to burn it down. He's talking so high about it. They are all reserved for burning. Peter said that in 2 Peter. Seeing that all these things are going to be burned down, how godly people we ought to be. That's what Peter said. But we talk about our attention went to the wrong thing, our power of balance is in the wrong place. Definitely. It should never be like that. No. So that which is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of the Lord. Man has a tendency to make things appreciable. The basic structure and value of the society is seen in a different light. We should not. Apostle John, he always speaks in black and white. He doesn't have a grey area. Sometimes such people are very hard for us to maintain, because he always said, he who is born from God does not sin, he who does not sin God. The black and white, he does not have grey area. If one of those black and white is 1 John 2:15 and 16. Set it in black. 1 John 2:15 and 16. All that is in the world, namely the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but of the world. How can he say it more plainly than that? Yes, all that is in the world. Namely, anything that is attractive to eyes, anything that is attractive to the flesh, and anything that increases the pride of life, they do not have the source from God, they have the source from the devil. This is worldly thing. We need material things for survival. They are our survival kits. Let that be. The things of the world be our survival kit. When somebody goes to swimming, he will have a what do you call that thing you put? Jacket, life jacket. Yeah. The life jacket is not something you always talk about, you are so proud about. No. Something really you don't like to put on. But you put it on because you don't know swimming very well and the water may be too deep and the current may be too, but the servants may be there, so you put it on. The things that we have is like that. I have to put up these things because minimum use I have to have, then only I can survive here. But more than that, definitely not. Yes. Never. So all that is in the world, Interestingly, the first sin involved in that one, Eve saw the fruit good to eat, good to gain wisdom, and all that thing, exactly the same thing. All sin involves around these three things. Lust of the eye, lust of the flesh, pride of life. And the world is full of them. So why not love the world, nor the things in the world? Our Lord gave the answer, the world passeth away and the lust thereof. The world passeth away. Why you love something that's going to pass away? That's the saddest thing. Someone we love so much or something we love so much, before our own eyes it passes away. Is it sad? Somebody has a child, they love so much. Everybody loves their children, but they love so much because they didn't have a child for years. And God gave this child, and then the child passes away. But every father has to acknowledge the fact when the child is given, life is transient, the child can pass away. Yes. This is what the Shunammite woman rebuked Elisha. Did I ask for a child? Did I ask for one? Jabardasti aaya. And gave the child, now the child passed away. But she was very wise. She put him on his bed. And of course, he came and gave life, but she was very to the point, She knew that. When women give birth at the late age, the attachment to the child is much greater. So the loss will be unbearable. That's true. It's very unbearable. So what happens for such people, it will be very difficult they have to acknowledge that. This child, I don't know how long I may possess. Yes, I don't know. So have the right perspective, it will be good. Yes. The world is like that, it passeth away. It passeth away. I once had the saddest or the most difficult responsibility of informing a person about something. I went to visit one of my friends. They had a nice home, an old time, almost 80-year-old home, made with the teakwood completely, nice paneling and everything. When I went there was nobody. When I went there, I saw some smoke coming out. In 5 minutes, the whole house, built with the teakwood, the whole house was on fire. Whole house. I was alone there. I don't know where this man has gone. All the neighbors all came, they all tried to put out the fire, but there's no way, You cannot go close. The tiles were with the hot, they will breaking and they will coming against you, 50 feet, 100 feet away. The heat, because there was about a ton of rubber sheets burning underneath. That's what happened, They had rubber kept there, and some rubber put under the chimney for drying. One of those rubber sheets fell in and it catch fire, and the next room had the whole thing, black coal coming. So I went, somebody told he was gone to visit his sister for some away. So I went there and I stood before him and I said, let's go. I couldn't have the courage to say that your house is gone. So I brought him, and on the way said that, well, there's a sad news to say that when you reach there, you don't have a home. Basically, few here and there. So that picture come to my mind about, the world passing away. One day you go to your home, you see that. In the morning you saw your children playing, in the evening you go, they are coughing there, think of job. How many coffin was there in Job's house? He had 10 children, there are wives there. The man said, I only escaped. There's only one man escaped to give the news. So Job's 10 sons and 10 wives and all the grandchildren they had, everybody was burned. So I think 50 coffins are laid down before Job. Job looked at it and said, the Lord gave, the Lord took. Then there is a statement Job made. That which I feared happened to me. That book, that which I feared. Job always had the fear that if I had such a big life, such a good family, such amount of property, one day I'm going to lose it. So he prepared himself. He imagined himself, fantasized himself maybe of losing all these things, and therefore he was able to say that the God gave, God took, his name be glorified. The whatever is transient, we should not put our love too much on him. That's the point. We need them. We need them. Lord is gracious, he gave double to Job, Even children. Gave 20 children, 10 upstairs, 10 downstairs. The first one's upstairs. The second set downstairs. I compliment Mrs. Job. That's a woman fascinates me. Because she gave birth to 10 and they were all married and gone, So what may be her age? In the old age, one more child, that's fine, We lost, and Lord give us one child. No, all the way 10. There is a classic woman. She only made one statement that does not show her and spirituality, that only show her love for her husband, respect for her husband. The man I most respect in my life, the most righteous man I have seen, if this is the way God is going to deal with him, that's a wrong thought. And Job corrected her. You speak as a foolish woman. Yes. And that settled. She was a wonderful woman. The Lord made no reference to her in all those, story. He got angry with the friends who spoke, but not with Mrs. Job. Sometimes people preach against her. That's the point. People preach against Job's wife. What a woman she is. He was a godly man. She was not. No, she was a godly woman. Yeah, she was equally. But that family, didn't love the things that pass away. No, they didn't. Job's wife. If you have 10 chicken in your home, you are raising, one chicken died, how bad we feel. Back home we had chicken, I remember that. Oh, that was a good chicken, Wife would say, oh, it used to lay eggs every day, We got 9 chicken and it cost only 100 rupees, you can buy another one, but still a loss is a loss. Job's wife lost all the cattle, all these things, everything, she didn't say a word. Even children, she didn't say a word. But when that godly man suffered, like the most wicked man in the world, that broke her heart. She really respected him and loved him. And Job was a man who did not give God a chance to say a word to her. Because the problem was immediately solved. Such a precious husband. Even though he was scratching and itching and oozing and all that, Yes. And the theology was corrected. We should receive from God's hand not only good things but bad things also. He is a sovereign God. There is no moral evil in these things. So he did this wonderful family. We need to, the world and all the things that pass away. Yes. But but the Lord said, he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. In 1 John 2:17. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. There is a passing world, there is a passing glory, but there is an abiding glory. So wonderful. He doeth will of God. He who doeth the will of God, he abideth forever. You want to abide forever and ever and ever? Boy, then you do the will of God. So if the will of God, doing the will of God is something that ensure eternal value, eternity for you, abideth forever. Why are you afraid of doing God's will? Just thoroughly go ahead and do it. Even if it does not make, sometimes does not make any sense to our thinking, how this will work out for good. We know Romans 8:20, all things work out for good, but God, I don't understand it. The Lord says, I know you don't understand it. You are no God. You are a little creature. Little creature with this big a brain can understand how the great God is going to work things out. If He wants to explain it, can you understand it? No. Someday you go to doctor's office and some doctors have this bad habit of not liking anything patients ask, and if they ask something they will use only the technical medical. So sometimes you ask something and they say ga 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 ga. You sit there and feel like talking back. But our God is not like that. He just won't talk. He won't say anything. You keep on asking anything. Say there's no point in talking. You are not at my wavelength. You don't understand. So Job said that, God does not Job, the fourth friend who came to Eli who said that he does not give an account of anything he does. Don't argue with God. He is a sovereign God. He does not have to give an account for anything he does. But know that he won't do a thing wrong. He will not do a thing against our blessing. We may not understand. We don't need to understand. Yes. We don't need to understand. We don't understand. If he wanted to tell us, will he understand? Oh no, never. Some of these chemical formulas, it's very difficult to understand. You try to explain the chemical formula to a layman, it's only picture for us. What is this? What is it? Organic, what is organic? Chemistry, what is chemistry? Yeah. People don't understand. A man was traveling in the train with his child, The child was crying. Child was crying and crying. So the man sitting next said, why the child is crying? Man said, because child want milk. So man said, what is milk? So he said, well, milk is the white thing. What is white thing? He said, you ever seen the crane? The crane? What is a crane? He said, something look like this. He said, no wonder the child is crying. If you feed the child something like this, which child won't cry? So it started out with the milk, but then ended up with this. The same way, if God started talking to us, we ended up by saying like that. We don't understand a thing. So it's best to say that, Lord, you don't need to tell me. Simply give you the final answer. The final answer you want, yes, all things work together to go to it. Isn't that a wonderful answer? That's a wonderful answer. So he who doeth the will of God abideth forever. Never be afraid or ashamed to do God's will. If you know something is God's will, go ahead and do it. Eternal or eternity is the dimension of a disciple. It is related to God, but now it is ours. Because God wants us to have all eternal blessings, all eternal blessings. Yes, it's amazing, I like that verse in Ephesians 1:3. One of the best verses in the Bible that I like. What does it say? And God blesses with all eternal blessings. Malayalam says, Sorgathile Sagale Atmiya Nugrahangalarum Kristuveshu Namme Nugrahichirikkunnu Daivam. The God who has blessed us with all the blessing, heavenly blessings in Jesus Christ. Whatever is in heaven available, He has blessed us with that word. Ephesians 1:3. Which means that when we have this perspective of eternity, God is going to load our life with eternal blessings. You name an eternal blessings, you have it. Earthly blessings He doesn't promise. He only promised dearness allowance. salary will be there. Here only dearness allowance, nothing more than that. Just enough to satisfy your hunger and thirst. Who was that songwriter in Malayalam said that? Yeah, somebody wrote a song like that. Was it Pachuni Badeshi or somebody? That's not what we need. We just don't have too many things. The Lord is very gracious. He gives more than that. Yeah, more than that He gives. He may promise. It's like, if Abraham is like that, Abraham went to the three men who was passing by. What was he said? He said, Lord, come to my place. I will bring a little water and a small piece of bread. What little water and small piece? 80 kilo bull was dressed and put before the three. And butter. And 3 measures of flour will, my wife said, at least 90 good chapatis. 90 good chapatis, whole pound of butter, and at least the 2 back legs and the hind legs, they're all there, said eat. If that's the standard of Abraham, what is the standard of God? That's my question. God's standard is not our standard. He blesses us with all the blessings in the heavenly place. Peace, joy, you call it whatever blessings you want. It's all, He loads our lives with that. In heavenly places I like. But notice, all such spiritual blessings. He didn't say material blessings. God never promised material blessings. Why? We are not in this world temporary people. For our time, we are on our journey to heaven. Yes, the pilgrim's progress. We are on our way to heaven. We need little water and little piece of bread here. That the Lord said, I will provide. Then I will load your life with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places. Yes, when our eyes are taken away from the heavenly to the earth, we begin to have problems. When our eyes are taken away from the earth to heaven, we begin to have blessings. And that's amazing. So eternal is a dimension that God wants. Eternal is a dimension that God wants. He wants. Eternal has a Christian dimension. You read through all the Old Testament from Genesis to Malachi. There is no one statement that say, I will bless you with heavenly blessings. He said the dews of the heaven will be there, coming down. But the heavenly blessings are not the dews of the heaven. Or, it's uniquely to the church. Abraham said, this land is yours, flowing with milk and honey. This land, the border boundaries are settled everything, this land is everything. But never said, I will take you to heaven and I will give you some of the blessings there. No, I don't know why. Maybe we are a unique people. But we have never come up to Abraham. Though Abraham was promised only things of the earth, but yet Abraham was able to take Isaac and to offer him a sacrifice. We can do that. We can do that. Because Abraham believed in God and he offered Isaac. Abraham believed what? God promised that I will make you a seed like stars in heaven and all these things. And Abraham believed that even if my son is killed, my God is able to make like that. That's why Jesus said, God can make Abraham from these stones. So Abraham believed in God. I don't need Isaac. Or God does not need Isaac to fulfill his promise. Abraham did not know that this is going to happen and immediately, God going to stop and then Ram will be put there. He didn't know that. But he knew something will happen because he told the young people, you live, stay here, we will go worship and we will come back. That was said that. We go worship and come back. A plural verb. A plural subject. We. So Abraham understood that. Hebrew says that Abraham received Isaac as seed from the ashes, the resurrection. What told me? Our God is a great God. But He never promised to the church any physical blessings. He will give, every believer will be given 15 cents of land and a small house to live, and will be given a car for every believer and a bullet bike at least. That's the most powerful here. or Harley Davidson or whatever you want.
Some churches, they preach on even the car being specific, They give testimonies on...
That's a poor testimony for the Lord. Then there are Mercedes-Benz and Bentleys, and Rolls Royce. The Lord is going to give only an Innova. I mean, if you are talking about things, you talk in God's style. That's what I say, sir. Why you talk in man's style? Once a captain was up for the breakfast and his cook was there sitting, there and dreaming like this. There was nothing in the home to cook for breakfast. So captain said, why are you sitting like that? There's nothing in the home for... So what were you thinking? I was dreaming about a nice breakfast. So what did you dream? 2 chapatis and a vegetable curry. He came and gave 2 slaps and said, rascal, if you're dreaming, why can't you dream something good? It doesn't cost anything anyway. That's what it should be. If you are giving God that kind of a credit, then you say that I was thinking about a Bentley or a Rolls Royce, or a Mercedes Benz or something like that, and then the gold came and gold not plated, pure gold. Even the tires were, gold. Man, give God the glory. Now God doesn't need that glory. That is not His economy for us. He won't give us that. He may give it to somebody. Somebody He may give. But I don't want that. I never asked, I never dreamed. If God give me, I won't take it. Why? Because then everybody will be wondering who is that guy in that Rolls Royce car. Will they say that is God's servant? That my God will get the honor. Nobody will say that's God's servant. That's not bringing any glory for them. My God said, He shall supply all your needs. All your needs. Not all your luxuries. Not all your dreams. My God shall supply all your needs. More than that. My needs. And I want to keep my needs minimum, not maximum. What will I do if you give me 10 pounds of meat? Say, here, eat on the table, cooked meat. I can eat only 1 or 2 pieces. So what will I do? Lord, you wasted it. No, God will not waste it. No, He doesn't need to give me. 2 chapatis enough. Sometimes if the curry is very good, 3 chapatis. Yes. Not more than that. So why are they? These carnal people whose eyes are full of the things of the world. They just want. And they wanted to get the money of the people in their bucket, so they will use all kinds of gimmicks. No, sir, no. Our God is a great God. Yes, He can supply anything He wants. He has given. But the hunger and thirst, the Lord said, all those who want to live godly shall have what? All those who want to live godly shall have what?
Will be persecuted.
Did it say that beef steaks? No, we'll have persecution. Yes, that's what it is. Persecution. Yes. Elijah was God's favorite prophet, but he had to drink from a brook. Right? When you have to go and sit down by a brook and drink the water, how clean all the leaves and everything is there, and you have to drink it. Yeah, God can sanctify that water. And the dirtiest bird is the raven. It's not a clean bird by any imagination. That will bring what? Fish. Not fish. Meat and loaves. Where from where? I don't know. It is all I don't know. But I will say the Lord will sanctify it. So what difference? That's the difference. And Elisha was going, later he was going to die. He was sent to a widow who was getting ready to die. Survived there by faith. Because all the time there is only enough for one chapat, one dosha. You just take it out. Then you want one more, that's enough for one more. Back in home, I have seen people who have water scarcity. There is no water by the time it is the month of April and May. Some people will go someplace where there is a small pond. They will take a coconut shell. They will go sit down there with a bucket. By the time they take this half a coconut shell here, a little come, then they take that little. So 1 hour they will have little water in the bucket. That's the way Elijah was fed. Because we never said that the pot was filled with flour. No, a little. Is that enough? That's it. God is sufficient. The little God gives is better than the plenty world gives. Emotional with the peace that God giveth is better than a big feast. And then all the gastric problems and everything that comes after.